testing and things like that, you would actually get to the point where your estimates would converge and the team would say, okay, this user story size is, whatever.
TIMA's director says new challenges emerge in oil spill cleanup efforts. Jarek Titan Sports and Development Club makes urgent plea for financial assistance. Partially burnt body discovered in lowlands, and the Food Security Secretary announces wage increase for access road workers. Good evening, I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. Topping the news tonight, Alan Stewart, Director of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, has shed light on the ongoing efforts to clean up the oil spill, revealing emerging challenges faced by the cleanup crews on Day 50 of cleanup efforts. Trevicia Phillips has more.
THA's Post-Executive Council media briefing today, TIMA's director, Alan Stewart, emphasized the importance of waste management in handling the extracted hydrocarbon waste from the oil spill.
Challenges that we still are dealing with, and I want to point out that of the currently we are dealing with the waste management issue, which is very, very important to us as to how we manage the waste that has been extracted of that of hydrocarbon.
One notable challenge highlighted by Stewart is the complexity of dealing with sargassum.
We have seen the complexity of the mixture of sargassum, which we are going through one of those rough seasons with sargassum seaweed. It requires a particular type of posture whereby we separate the hydrocarbon that has been affected from that of the regular sargassum.
Stewart addressed the sargassum response plan.
Sargassum plan, or the sargassum response plan, is now in effect. We have had some technical discussions today as to how we can treat with it, how going forward.
He provided updates on the salvage operation of the vessel and cargo at sea, indicating imminent activities to bring them ashore for final disposition.
Treating with that, the objective is to bring it ashore before it goes to its final disposition. So that activity will begin very soon. Right now they are doing the necessary tapping into the vessel and doing the necessaries in preparation for bringing what they may perceive to be additional hydrocarbon that is lodged within the vessel itself.
Stewart's remarks underscore the evolving challenges faced in the oil spill's aftermath, highlighting the importance of proactive measures in mitigating environmental impacts and ensuring effective cleanup operations. Trevicia Phillips, Tobago Updates Television News.
Brian Brown, representing the Jarek Titan Sports and Development Club, has issued a public appeal for financial assistance. The club is facing unexpected challenges during its trip to England. According to Brown, the club had meticulously planned this excursion a long time ago, aiming to provide an enriching experience for over 100 children.
But we are struggling for, the cost of accommodation. So we are appealing to the public for assistance, any kind of assistance, however large or small you can give, we would appreciate.
Brown expressed the club's dedication and their commitment to the children despite setbacks. Despite encountering obstacles, the club decided to proceed with the trip to England, unwilling to disappoint the children who had eagerly anticipated the experience, as tickets were already bought for the trip.
We have been planning this trip to England for such a long time. And, at the last minute, some plans and some commitments that were made fell through.
To facilitate donations, the Jarrick Titan Sports and Development Club has established a GoFundMe account, providing a platform for individuals to contribute towards covering the expenses incurred during the England trip.
But we are struggling for, the cost of accommodation. So we are appealing to the public for assistance, any kind of assistance, however large or small you can give, we would appreciate. We have here, we did come to England because we didn't want to disappoint the boys that have been training and preparing, and they were excited to come, so we didn't want to disappoint them.
Last evening at approximately 9:20 p.m., a party of officers from the Guard and Emergency Branch were on mobile patrol along the Claude Noel Highway in the vicinity of the Welcome to Canaan Bonaccord sign when they observed a black Mazda 323 motor car ablaze. Upon checking the vehicle, a woman in her 60s of East Indian descent, clad in a white T-shirt and underwear, was found slumped motionless in the right front seat of the vehicle. Her partially burnt body was discovered with 2 containers of liquid propellant near her feet. The deceased was later identified as Deborah Gopal from John Gorman Trace Crown Point. Police are continuing investigations into the incident. Well, Secretary for the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Natisha Charles Panton, announced that access road workers will receive a wage increase. She shared that their wages would be increased from $173 to $235 within this fiscal year.
And they will be brought on par with the other workers, under the collective agreement, so they will be entitled to all the benefits. So this fiscal, you will experience a wage increase.
This announcement was made during the post-executive THA media briefing this afternoon. Stiltakang Public Corporation needed regarding child abuse and later head of Wasa to maintain his position despite the restructuring process. Stay with us.
Scrub Ties brings to you our organic fat dissolving shots. Yes guys, our lemon butter shots breaks down stubborn fat, tightens any loose skin while increasing your metabolism. No side effects, no downtime. We also offer cavitation, cellulite treatment, butt, breast, hip dip fillers, weight loss, fertility IVs, and much more. Contact us on 495-6624 or follow us on Instagram at Scrub Ties Body Contouring.
We all want to live in a society where there's respect for the rule of law, public service efficiency, and high productivity. We each have a responsibility to help shape our Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, supporting good governance. I'm Nigel Edwards, and I urge you to submit views for constitutional reform by April 15th to constitutionalreform2024.gov.tt. It's your future, your Constitution, your voice.
It's March Madness at Standard Distributors Limited. Get $100 back for every $1,000 you spend. Major appliance deals on Frigidaire, Hyacinth, Samsung, and more. Plus, same-day financing options available. Don't miss out. Sale ends March 31st. Standard, never beaten on quality and prices.
Welcome back. Minister Ayanna Webster-Roy, with responsibility for gender and child affairs, has issued a compelling call to action following the distressing emergence of a video depicting the severe abuse of a child by an adult female, urging immediate support seeking and collaborative efforts to combat such atrocities.
Minister Ayanna Webster-Roy issued a statement expressing profound dismay at a recently circulated video depicting the severe abuse of a child by an adult female. Stressing the urgency of addressing such incidents, she appealed to parents, guardians, and caregivers to promptly seek support services to confront and overcome the challenges faced by families on a daily basis. She emphasized the importance of immediate action, asserting that delays in seeking assistance could lead to adverse outcomes for vulnerable children. She highlighted the need for accountability, stating unequivocally that there is no justification for any form of child abuse. The minister extended gratitude to individuals who alerted the relevant authorities, facilitating swift intervention that led to the removal of the child for urgent medical and other necessary care. She assured the public that all available state resources would be allocated to support the child's complete recovery. Concurrently, investigations into the actions of the adult perpetrator are underway. Minister Webster-Roy reiterated the importance of reporting abuse, seeking support, and providing contact information for relevant agencies and hotlines. For assistance, individuals can contact the National Family Services Division at 623-2608, extensions 6701 to 6711, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service at 999, the Children's Authority Hotline at 996 or 800-2014, Childline at 131 or 800-4321, and the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-SAVE 800-7283. Travicia Phillips, Tobago Updates Television News.
The issue of property tax has been an ongoing political issue, with debates going back and forth in Parliament about its implementation. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley discussed the topic last night during conversations with the Prime Minister, where he instructed the Minister of Finance, Colm Imbert, to embark on a campaign to educate the population on the matter. Here's more.
Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said that when the UNC was in office, they've placed a waiver on property tax as part of their election campaign Axi Tax, which he said was abolished in 2015 and became collectible again. He stated that had they won the election in 2015, they would have implemented the property tax.
So when you hear them talking now, attacking property tax, ask them, how could the waiver have been ended by your action in 2015? Yet all of a sudden, the tax is wicked, and is Rowley, and is Imbert, and is this. You are just unbelievable.
Dr. Rowley said that the government thought it was a good operation to collect property tax and have the local government spend it on their requirements.
And that is an integral part of local government reform. We have a mandate to do that. We campaigned in the general election. We went out in a local government election. They're opposing everything. They oppose this, they oppose that, they oppose the other. We talk to you openly and truthfully and reasonably, and the PNM is in government.
The Prime Minister noted that the opposition had no problem voting against a reduction in the amount of tax to be paid.
From time to time, you will hear them saying, when you ask them, well, what will you do? Well, we would have reenacted the local government land and building taxes. You know what the tax level is with the land and building taxes that they're talking about that they would have implemented? Is it 6 or 7%? 7%.
Dr. Rowley highlighted that they are levying the property tax at 2% and that the opposition is misleading the country, thinking that the population does not know. He stated that the opposition cannot challenge what he is saying because the facts and documents are there. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
The switch to renewable energy is being encouraged worldwide as the adverse effects of fossil fuels are being realized. However, it has been a largely specialized area for a long time. To bring electricians on board, Environment Tobago coordinated with Tobago Downtown Electrical and Nuisance Security and Solar Systems to educate electricians in Tobago about using and installing solar systems. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
Yes, it is hot, but use what you have right now, convert that sun energy to power up all your appliances for your comfort.
The frequency of high temperatures may be unbearable for some, but Lauren Peters, the managing director of Nuance Security and Solar Systems Limited, says the conditions are perfect for turning the phenomenon that makes you sweat into money. She bases this on readings from the solar irradiance scale.
Solar irradiance scale, when you check it, in Tobago, it's at number 5. That means there's so much potential to harness the sun energy, right? And because we have an abundance, why aren't we not using it?
Melville believes it is the most lucrative to tap into among all the renewable energy sources available.
Because we're going into more green initiatives and we want to protect our environment, powering your future is most important.
While the transition from fossil fuel-based energy to renewable energy, particularly solar energy, can be daunting, Melville, with her institutional knowledge along with Downtown Tobago Electrical and Environment Tobago, introduced electricians to the nuances of setting up solar systems which are accepted by the Electrical Inspectorate.
He's giving a rundown on how you can integrate solar safely and get inspected, that you get certified to use solar and also grid power from TN-Tech. So we started that conversation here on how people can safely integrate.
Despite the higher costs to install, solar power significantly reduces energy bills and provides solutions for residents living in remote areas. With several forms of equipment being made available through Downtown Tobago Electrical, Melville encourages more people to consider integrating systems with the supply available on the grid.
You can have small systems starting at 20,000 go up. That is for off-grid systems. But we are speaking more about hybrid and off-grid. Those, as I say, who live remotely that can't access grid power very easily and have to install a number of poles at a cost from TN-Tech. We're saying merge and integrate the solar systems at home.
Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
Stop your bow, Mr. Fiddler. Oh, hi. If I will look back at the worldwide movements from Marcus Garvey to McCandle Dagger, and we can see that the youth have the power to make a society. But today, like there is no trust in our ideas and vision for a better Trinidad and Tobago. As a youth, me can say, our voices must be valued, included and placed in at the forefront in decision making. So we form our constitution to build a stronger Trinidad and Tobago for you and me. Jag your bow, Mr. Fiddler. Oh ha! Oh ha! Oh ha! Oh ha!
Hello everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Car Clinic, located right here in Tobago at Storebay Local Road. You can WhatsApp us or call us at 366-4173.
Welcome back. Many great ideas and goals are being expressed by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, as well as the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited. But can the accommodation sector do its part to fulfill those ideas and goals? Well, the president of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association, Alpha Lord, says realism and focus are missing from the ideas and goals. In part 2 of the realities of Tobago's tourism industry, senior reporter Candice Jackson explores the realities the accommodation sector faces in achieving these goals.
While the tourism division and TTAL are busy marketing Tobago to the world, the accommodation sector is struggling to meet the expectations promised to prospective visitors. Tobago's tourism reached its peak in 2005 with over 80,000 international visitors. Since then, arrivals have declined drastically to just over 20,000. According to Alpha Lord, president of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association, these low figures have burdened the accommodation sector, making improvements difficult.
And then you have hoteliers again who, because of the downturn in the business for so long, just cannot afford to say take their property to the next level, where Grenada is taking some of their properties to where Barbados have done, where Jamaica is doing. So it's a kind of chicken and egg situation.
Lord explained that for several years, the accommodation sector has wrestled with the need to improve the quality of service they can provide to guests while being able to sustain their businesses.
Do I make the investment and wait for these arrivals that never come, right? Or the arrivals come, and then we say we're going to make the investment, but then they're not happy with the quality of the product, and they say, well, we're not coming back.
While Lord appreciates the invigorated efforts of the THA and TTAL to market Tobago, he called on them to be realistic about the challenges faced in the tourism industry. He believes that by focusing marketing efforts in collaboration with stakeholders, everyone can be satisfied with the results.
Needs immediate attention right now. I think the THA and TTAL needs to create a very clear, laser-like stated focus on what they want for tourism for Tobago. And I think if that is clearly articulated, we understand it. Like there's the 5 objectives for this year, for next year there's the objectives. The association could get behind supporting it.
Lord explained that the association is willing to support the efforts of the THA as much as they can, but they prefer these efforts be realistically achievable. For instance, the THA and the Ministry of Tourism frequently voice the need for tourism businesses to align their delivery of services with technology. However, Lord explains that embracing technology becomes difficult in situations like the one a few months ago when Mountain Bay Resort was without internet for almost a week. This is especially true in a situation where property management systems are moving from server-based platforms to cloud-based servers.
So if I was running a cloud-based property management system at a point in time, I would have no access to my PMS for 5 days. Like, that's unheard of, that's madness. I should be able to easily default to a second provider.
In part 3 of the realities of Tobago's tourism industry, the destination's ideal visitor arrivals and carrying capacity will be explored. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
During the commissioning of the Bard Hill Well Development Program last Monday, Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez spoke about plans for a desalination plant in Charlottesville. Minister Gonzalez said that a desalination plant in Charlottesville would have the capacity to provide 300,000 gallons of water per day in that area.
It is because, based on our analysis and the assessment, there is no viable groundwater or well like we have here in Bard Hill that is available to us in Charlottesville, and there is no available surface water sources.
He shared that a couple of weeks ago when he visited Charlottesville, he was
that will
shocked
have
to
the
see
capacity
the river levels due to the drought-like conditions, and that the only option available is to construct a plant. That the development program for the water sector is very robust, and that this is why 90% of Tobagonians can boast of having a reliable supply of water over 3 days a week. While staying with Wasa during the commissioning of the Bard Hill Well Development Program, Minister Gonzalez confirmed that the head of Wasa Tobago region, Brian Williams, will keep his position in the organization's structural transformation. Ariana Scipio has the details.
Minister Marvin Gonzalez said that the transformation of Wasa is almost here and that they will transition into a new executive leadership. He stated that MP for Tobago West, Minister Shamfa Kujo-Lewis, would have commended the team at Wasa and the Ministry of Public Utilities for the opportunities they would have given Tobagonians to take charge of their circumstances on the island, making the island a model region across the nation due to the efforts of Brian Williams, head of the Tobago region.
And because of that, we are inching closer to the transformation of Wasa, and my position has always been that whoever assumes the leadership of the Water and Sewage Authority in Wasa in the new leadership structure must also come from Tobago.
Minister Gonzalez noted that someone from Trinidad cannot run the affairs of Tobago and that it takes a Tobagonian who knows and understands what they have to do and utilize their resources.
I am proud to tell you that Brian is earmarked to assume the leader of the Tobago region in the new leadership structure.
He said that after the work Williams had done over the years, the way he has managed his team and the respect they have for him cannot be replaced. Minister Gonzalez stated that Williams only needs to continue what he has done over the past 3 years.
And I want to challenge Brian that when you assume that position, it is your responsibility to groom younger people. Don't behave as though the position is yours and that you have a deed for it.
Minister Gonzalez told Williams that his responsibility as a leader is to identify young leaders so that the legacy he leaves will continue. Gonzalez encouraged Williams to lead with dignity and humility. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
The weather report is next.
Deltec Distributors, best deal. 3 pounds pork, goat, chicken, turkey, B5 meats, 3 pounds each, $300. Best deal. Or you could try 5 pounds pork, goat, chicken, turkey, B5 meats, 5 pounds each, $500. Best deal. $20 delivery. Call me now. 359-5040 or 237-0102. Order online at www.deltecdistributors.com or check with us. Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. Deltec Distributors, best deal.
Fellow citizens, I am Joy Abdul Mohan. Many years ago, we declared through our constitution our desire to live in a democratic society with respect for the law, supported by public institutions that respond to our needs. A strong constitution must be relevant to every citizen, including children and the youth. We've heard about reform before. Let us speak out now and make it happen by submitting our views to constitutionalreform2024.gov.tt by April 15th. It's our future, our constitution, our voices.
Assistant Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Joel Sampson, announced that workers under the Unemployment Relief Program will be granted paid vacation leave. Sampson announced that for the first time in the history of the URP program, workers have gone on their first vacation leave paid.
Workers have finally enjoyed some benefits that they did not enjoy previously. So these workers are now entitled to vacation leave, sick leave, casual leave. They're entitled to bereavement leave.
He highlighted that female workers are also now entitled to maternity leave, indicating that the current TH administration is caring and kept the promises they would have made to the workers.
And we are seeing that these workers now are motivated by the works that they have been doing across the space. You know, there are a lot of works happening if you look at rehabilitation and revitalization works.
Among the revitalization work, Sampson mentioned the Scarborough Boardwalk, noting that it was in a dilapidated state for some time and that revitalization works were done for the carnival season and will be completed soon. Now for the weather update from the T&T Met Office. Tonight's weather is expected to be mostly fair and cool, aside from the occasional brisk shower. Temperatures will likely drop to 25 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, conditions are forecasted to be hot and sunny across most regions, although there's a slight chance for a few isolated showers, especially in central and southwestern areas. It's set to be another warm day with temperatures anticipated to soar to 32 degrees Celsius and a heat index reaching 37 degrees. With spring tides in effect, the sea will be slight to moderate, featuring waves up to 1.5 meters in open waters and remaining calm in sheltered areas. Sunrise is at 6:01 and the sunset at 6:13. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Let's recap the headlines before we go. TIMA's director says new challenges emerge in oil spill cleanup efforts. Jarek Titan Sports and Development Club make urgent plea for financial assistance. Partially burnt body discovered in lowlands, and Food Security Secretary announces wage increase for access road workers. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards, thanking you so much for joining us and wishing you a great night.